What's up, everybody? Zach Parker back again. We're getting down right towards the end of the NCAA tournament, which means ACDI's bracket challenge will also soon be coming to an end. So I wanted to grab Dillion and Steven today to check in on how their brackets are doing and give you guys a little bit of a preview for the Final Four. So, gentlemen, here we are. There's only 3 games left. How's your bracket looking these days? Where are you at in the standings? How'd your picks end up? How are things going for your bracket right now?
Mine's horrible. It's bad.
Yeah, mine's bad too. But I mean, I'm better than yours, but
yeah,
still bad.
I think I'm in 142nd place.
Do you have any teams remaining?
I have one.
Okay.
Duke.
You had Duke in the Final Four?
I had Duke in the Final Four at least. So.
Steven, what about you?
I only have Florida and Auburn. That's it.
Yeah, so I'm kind of in the same boat. I'm currently tied for 101st. I only got 2 of the Final Four. I do have Florida over Duke in my national championship, so I guess there's still a chance that I could work my way up the standings a little bit, but I think that top spot is pretty well out of reach for me, and it sounds like it probably is for you guys as well.
Yeah. I've got a sliver of hope, I think.
We'll see.
Yeah, maybe.
No.
It's not over till it's over, right? Well, with that being said, you know, we're down to the Final Four as we sit here recording today. We're 2 days away from the Final Four, and all 4 1 seeds. Only the second time in the history of the tournament that this has happened. Definitely a change from what we've seen in the last couple of years. You know, last year we had 11 seed NC State in the tournament. 2 years ago we had Florida Atlantic and San Diego State both make it. This year, I mean, even the Elite Eight was really dominated by 1 seeds, 2 seeds, and 1 3 seed. So do you think this is a sign of things to come? Can we expect it to be less madness, more expected outcomes moving forward? Or do you think this is just the way it shook out this year because those 4 1 seeds are that good?
I think it's too early. I mean, I think it's been almost 20 years. I think it was 07 or 08, something like that. That's the last time that all 4 1 seeds were in it. So, I mean, if it happens again next year and the year after, maybe you could look into something with the weirdness of NIL deals maybe coming into play, but I think it'll be just a one-off.
Yeah, I think it's a one-off too. I mean, obviously I think NIL has had a big impact on it, but I think this was just a one-off year.
Yeah, I tend to agree. You know, I mean, to your point, Steven, 1 year does not a pattern make, so it's probably too early to tell. And, you know, I mean, when you look at the numbers, Duke, Auburn, Florida,
they're good.
You know, Houston, they were pretty well the 4 best teams in the country start to finish. And I know they're the top 4 teams, 1 through 4 in Ken Pom ranking right now. All 4 of them are top 10 in the country in offensive and defensive efficiency. So,
right.
You know, it's hard to say that this is what we're going to see moving forward. Maybe it's just these 4 teams were really good this year, and so they're the 4 remaining.
Yeah, really, there wasn't really a Cinderella at all. I mean, if you go off ranking, the only Cinderella would be Arkansas.
Yeah.
So
What could have
we
been?
lost, but hey.
Shouldn't have. Y'all should have made it one more weekend.
Yeah, I know.
Really dropped the ball there.
Yeah, we made a good run. Yeah, that was his first year. I mean, that was Pope's first year too, so they
both made it out of first
both
weekend.
Made it into the Sweet 16. I don't know. It's like did BYU made it to the Sweet 16? So did Arkansas. So did Kentucky, and Cal came from Kentucky.
I mean, you're not going to include USC.
Oh yeah, USC. I forgot. Eric Musselman.
Not quite there.
No, not quite there.
Yeah, hey.
I'd say throw him in there. Throw him in there.
So
Don't forget.
three of the 4 teams made it to the Sweet 16.
Sure, kind of part of that coaching carousel that took place in the offseason.
Right.
Yeah.
Worked out pretty well for everybody.
Yeah, it worked out well for everybody besides
like
USC. So
seems like it. So let's talk about the Final Four a little bit. You know, as we said, we're 2 days away from it right now. Florida against Auburn in an all-SEC matchup, and Duke against Houston on the other side. What are your expectations? What do you see happening? Who do you see coming out of Saturday and playing each other Monday night in the national championship?
Yeah, I mean, it's a tough one. I mean, they're all really good teams. But, this year has kind of been a different year. Like we were just talking about, all the number 1 seeds have the best teams are in the Final Four. I think the best team is going to win this year, which would be Duke, I think. So.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. I've never been all season. I haven't been a big fan of Houston anyway. But, I want to say that, defensively, I think they're probably the top out of the four on ranking-wise on adjusted efficiency. But, I don't think they've played in their conference. I don't think they've played a whole lot of people in top 5 offenses, which I think Duke is. So I wouldn't be surprised if Duke, just kind of walks away with it, especially just because they're so long too.
Yeah.
Houston's kind of a small team. And then I think it's a toss-up. It just depends on what you get with Auburn, Florida, and who comes out that night.
Yeah, that's going to be a dogfight.
Yeah.
I'm excited for that game.
I think they're both going to be very entertaining games. Sure, is it fun to have a Cinderella in there and somebody unexpected? Of course, but with it being these heavyweights, I think we're going to see some really, really great basketball. As I said at the beginning, I picked Florida over Duke at the beginning of the tournament. If I had a do-over, I think I would lean more with what you guys are saying and probably pick the Blue Devils, just the way they're playing and especially the way Cooper Flagg has bounced back from that ankle injury in the ACC tournament. I think at this point he's got a chance to be the best freshman since Anthony Davis. Would he be the first one since Anthony Davis to win a national championship and then eventually be the first pick in the NBA draft?
He's got it all. He's got personality.
And he's been stuffing the stat sheet for the Blue Devils this tournament, averaging 20 points, 8 rebounds, 5 assists a game. So it should be a lot of fun. I know I speak for these guys as well when I say we're looking forward to seeing how it all unfolds and enjoying at least a couple more games of great basketball before we say goodbye to the season.
Yeah, and then it's on to baseball.
There's always another sport coming. Well, thank you, boys, for joining me. At this time, I'm going to take a seat and chat with Dillion Carnes for a little bit, our ACDI Energy Services Sales Director, who is currently in first place. So maybe we'll get some insights from him on how he did so much better in this tournament than Steven and Dylan and myself. So stay tuned for that. All right, we're here with Dillion, the man of the hour, currently in sole possession of first place in the ACDI March Madness Bracket Challenge. Dillion, what a job you've done, man. 112 points. You nailed 7 of the Elite 8 and all 4 of the Final 4. What was the secret to your success?
The two things, to be completely transparent, were not thinking about it, meaning just using your gut, and a boatload of luck.
Yeah.
So one of our colleagues said when he heard it, he said, you know what? You voted with your head or picked with your head versus your heart. And that's what it boiled down to. In the past, I've looked for Cinderella stories and, try to make it where you're going to pick the dark horse and you're going to win everything. But this time I went through and I just said, hey, this makes more sense, and had a boatload of luck. So
I think there's a lot of truth to what you said. Not overthinking it and getting lucky with some of the draws. Anybody who's ever had success in a bracket picking challenge such as this will tell you there's definitely a lot of luck that comes into it. And I can tell you from personal experience that probably this year's bracket included, when I get myself into trouble is when I start overthinking it, when I start analyzing every single matchup instead of just looking at it holistically and saying, wow, Houston, Duke, Auburn, Florida, these were the 4 best teams all year. Maybe I should just pick them to make the Final 4. It's crazy how that happens, isn't it?
Sure is.
So here we are, at the time of recording, we're 2 days away from the Final 4. So 2 games on Saturday, 1 more on Monday. You've got Florida over Houston in your national championship. So you have Florida beating Auburn, you have Houston beating Duke. How are you feeling going into the weekend? If a couple of things go your way, you're coming home with the prize. How are you feeling going into the Final 4?
Not a lot of confidence. No, I'm going to cherish the time that I spent at number 1, which, I mean, you know, was the longest period in this entire, you know, bracket that wasn't all skill, that was luck because we haven't had a game in a week. But I'm going to cherish that no matter what. I think maybe I should have gone with Duke. They're looking strong, but we'll see. It's, you know, it's anyone's game at this point. But I'm sticking with it.
I love it. And it's worked out for you so far. So, you know, who am I to say anything, you know, disparaging your picks? I mean, as we said, you're sitting here in first place and I'm way down the leaderboard. So, you know, maybe I should just defer to you moving forward. Maybe you should be hosting this show next year and telling us what all to expect, because whatever I predicted clearly wasn't happening.
No, I think you're the man for this position, and we'll see what happens next year. There needs to be a, you know, consistent performance from anyone's standpoint to be filling your shoes. So sure. You keep it.
Well, Damian, thanks for the time. Best of luck this weekend. You know, who knows? Maybe this time next week you'll be $250 richer, and a charity of your choice will be cherishing $250 additional dollars as well. So enjoy the games. Maybe we'll be talking to you again soon as you are crowned the champion. But whatever happens, best of luck, and cherish your time in first place as you have.
Thank you. Appreciate it.